Quad, give us that intro.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Warband, your one-stop, whenever source of literally nothing, because we're all boring as fuck. My name is Quad. I am joined here by my two esteemed co-hosts, Drew and Jester. Say hi, guys.
Hello, I'm Naughty Jester from the Warband. I will make you laugh and feel pain at the same time.
And I am Fixer, also known as Drew or Old Time. Though I'm not really known as that because I'm not really famous, nor funny, just like Quad said.
Or, Drew Justice, because you added your entire name in the first podcast.
Yeah.
Buy his book.
Buy my books.
I was trying to take a drink. God damn it, I couldn't stop.
This podcast is, by the way, sponsored by Drew Justice. Buy his books.
I thought you were about to say, this podcast is sponsored by Amazon. Like, no, we don't have that.
You'll find in the link a link to my Amazon page. Please buy every book there.
Oh, fuck. But no.
I'm half tempted to do that just for the joke.
What the fuck was I saying? I was talking about chapters. I was going to finish that discussion. Oh, yeah. No, I think, for sure, there's no doubt that the first chapter master of the Crimson Hawks will be Anakin.
Probably. I like how you just went into that, and now everyone, all the dozen of people that might be watching this podcast are thinking to themselves, what the fuck is he talking about?
No, it's not the dozen people. It's the 8 people and Eggy 6 times.
We should mention we are an RPG group. We like to play. Basically, it's dice and virgins mixed together. And
Speak for yourself.
Wait a minute. Hold on. This is 2021. If people don't know what role-playing games are by now, I'm pretty sure they're never gonna know.
We do mostly 40k games with the occasional D&D, and very, very rarely something that is not one of those two things.
Trying to branch out.
Going.
You try, but you fail every time, Jester. It's always you.
I will never give up on that. I will get a World War II game with chase and glory.
Drew, when you say sometimes other things, all I can think of is you desperately trying and every time failing to get an Alien game running.
Yes. I've tried that 3 times now.
Yeah. Hey. After 3 years of being with you guys, I managed to get everyone to do a Commander game, and it was good.
Speaking of other systems, I don't think we've gotten the entirety. We've gotten most of them. I know Captain was in it one time, but I don't think we've got the entirety of the hands to do a made RPG game.
You haven't got me to do one.
Oh, you need to join us next time we do it. We'll probably never do it again.
That's some serious no-knowing.
Anyway, long story short, Anakin and I think literally every noteworthy member in my handout that is not dead is going to. Oh, I need to go and figure out which of them died, but if any of them died. But I think at least 2 of them for sure are going to be chapter masters. I don't know of who, but they will be of chapter masters of something. Okay.
Just to keep people mowing, we just did a Horus Heresy sort of scenario in Warhammer 40k. That's basically when the big civil war happens. We may or may not have broken the law beyond repair.
I mean,
okay, so
I'm sure no one will mind that Magnus is alive, a loyalist, and that Malcador is alive as well.
Okay. So given that this is you know what? Actually, I've been meaning to bring this up, and now that we're all here and we're actually recording, I do want to bring it up because it's always best to do it live, if you know what I mean, right? Just for your guys' thought, because this is the quote unquote first episode. I don't count the other one was not canon, it just wasn't. We should really think about what exactly we should focus some of these talks on. We should have like segments. We can talk about maybe 40k lore, talk about like any RPG, but we have to get Connor in here for those. Well, no, we don't. Fuck Connor. We have to talk about RPG, and then just talk about whatever.
You know what?
Ooh.
Quad?
Yeah.
You know me and Drew are like the good with the aren't afraid to do mental stuff. You have to bring in Call of Cthulhu. Because there's a World War II variant, and the moment we can play that, I can attempt to do a World War II thing with that.
Call of Cthulhu is a D100 system. It's not that complicated of a system.
Yeah, it's really not. If you can play Dark Heresy, you can definitely play. I can teach.
Yeah, but I don't know the rules, so the basics are. It's a D100 system. It doesn't mean jack.
Look, I can teach you how to play Call of Cthulhu. I've done it like 3 different times with people that are entirely ignorant and brand new. I can teach you how to play it in like 2 hours. It's not that hard. And really, they have Achtung Cthulhu, which is literally Call of Cthulhu in World War II. So
I know, and I reckon that'd be great. And it would all do so well.
You just really want to do one of the World Wars, don't you?
Can you blame me?
No, not really.
Jester just loves Nazis.
Oh, I love shooting a Nazi.
Isn't that what I said?
Okay, to be fair. Listen. I may want to pick up an MP40 and use it. But to be fair, the MP40 is a good gun.
No, it is. It is.
I don't know.
It's not.
It's my American pride, but I prefer the Springfield over the SMGs of the time period.
I mean, to be fair, there was I remember there was a story I heard about a man, like a soldier on D-Day, who, when he dropped into the beach, he nearly drowned. Not because he was taking fire and he ducked under the water, but because of the fact that he was the squad's like BAR man, and so that BAR dragged him into the water and he nearly drowned because it was still like the strap was tied into his web gear. He said that thing nearly killed him, and so as soon as he was off the beach, he dropped it. He picked up an MP40 and he used that for the entirety of the rest of the war. And he said he never got in trouble for it, and he never had to worry about ammunition because it was just everywhere.
Fair enough.
But he said I would never use that fucking gun again. It nearly killed me. And to be fair, the BAR was a heavy son of a bitch.
It was a heavy son of a bitch, but also had a hell of a lot longer range than the MP4.
True, MP40, but true, it did have, the clip wasn't, hold on, how much? The Browning automatic.
I think it had like a 20, 30.
Yeah. The Browning automatic rifle weighs, does it not say, you son of a bitch?
I mean, we're talking about the difference between an SMG and a light machine gun.
Yeah. So, with a full magazine, it is 47 inches long and weighs 19.4 pounds or 8.8 kilograms.
Damn, that's heavy.
Hefty gun.
Hefty.
How much bullets does it hold?
A 20-round magazine.
The MP40 is an SMG and it carried more.
It is capable of firing single shot. It says is capable of firing single shot. Has a burst of 2 to 3 shots depending on the setting, and when fully automatic, has a fire rate of 650 rounds per minute.
So your entire clip would be gone like literally a second.
Yeah. Yep.
It just looked, to me, they call it LMG, but it just looked like a heavy assault rifle.
I mean, not necessarily wrong.
Now, to be fair, I did like the way the BAR looked I liked the way it looked as a gun, but to be fair, it looked like to me basically a scaled up M14, or perhaps I should say the M14 was a scaled down Browning because it came in later.
Because this may be the Commonwealth person in me, or Commonwealth in me, but the LMG that I probably favored was the Bren.
The Bren was weird because, like, the Bren,
It was extremely accurate.
it was very accurate. I'm not gonna lie, it looked good. It does look good, but that canted sight though, and the downward
The downward magazine is has been proven to be beneficial to when you're laying down. And considering there was an LMG, you want to be laying down.
I suppose you have a point.
It's also been proven to be very annoying as far as soldiers are concerned.
But but it was an annoyance that they easily accepted.
I won't say willingly, it was issued kit.
Yeah, but the Owen gun, which had an upside down magazine, the soldiers gladly took that.
You guys want to see something absolutely, like, utterly disgusting? I got you. Hold on.
This is a podcast, you know that, right?
No. Hold on. I'm gonna post something in the gun show. Also, I posted something there earlier today. It's disgusting as shit, but you can take a look at that.
I want to change this to the gun chat.
No, but I wanna show you guys this. So someone took an AK-47, right? And he decided he wanted to make it into a Bren, and this was the result.
What the fuck?
Why is the trigger up there?
I don't know. If I remember right,
is that two triggers?
There are two triggers on this gun. Yes.
Why did an orc make this gun?
I don't know. I'm fairly certain, if I remember correctly, like the top trigger, it doesn't work. If I remember right, I'm pretty sure they reconfigured the top trigger to work as the magazine release. But I don't know for sure.
That's...
But they did recreate the Bren's canted sight, so it is canted off to the side. Both the back and the front sight are canted off to the side of the magazine, so that is accurate. To say nothing of the absolutely god awful stock and grip it has.
I'll be 100% honest. I don't know what canted means, so you're gonna have to. I apologize.
It's shifted off. So basically, with a normal sight, so like with the Bren, there's no way you can have the normal like sight on it because the magazine would block it. And so basically, what a canted sight is the sight is kind of turned slightly off of the gun, so you'd kind of be tilting your head to look down the sights. It's tilted basically around the magazine. So, and it's keyed to where it is accurate. It's still perfectly accurate. It's just the sight is at an angle where you actually do have to turn your head a little to look down the sight. I believe if I can find a picture, it looks something like this. So like if you have a gun, this is what a canted sight looks like. So you have the normal scope on top, and you have the iron sight like that. Call of Duty and other games do it sometimes with certain guns.
So they just ignore it altogether.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I know a bit more about rifles than I do when it comes to World War II. I know a lot more about rifles than I do any of the other guns. I know that the British SMG was the Sten gun, which is...
Hey, don't knock the Sten gun. While I may shit on the Bren, I will defend the Sten gun.
Okay, the Sten gun was literally what happens when the British say, okay, we need a SMG that is cheap and easy to produce. And that's when you get the Sten gun. It works.
Until it doesn't.
There's a reason they got rid of it pretty quickly.
How long did it last?
It did last very long.
I want to say not more than a decade. Give me a second.
I'm getting DMs, and I know who is DMing me. I kind of want to call him out, but I don't want to do it live. Or if I could, I've already called him out.
It lasted almost exactly 20 years. It was in service from 1941 to 1960.
That's a good time.
That's a fairly decent time for an SMG, but
that's a good shelf life for an active service weapon.
I mean, God, the AKs are still being used, so that's saying something.
That's an AK.
Yeah, but like for example, how long was the? What can I use as an example? How long was the original Garand around for? It was around for World War II, Korea, but by Vietnam it was pretty much gone. They had gone to the M14. They were using the M14 in Korea.
I know they were using the own gun in Vietnam.
The M1 Garand beats the Sten as it was first introduced in 1936 and stopped being the standard rifle in 1958.
I mean, still, it's close.
From the 1940s to current time, it is present in other countries.
What else?
They were apparently being used in the Iraq War.
Well, it's a good gun.
Yeah, so that's pretty long shelf life. That's
although to be fair,
AK-47 long.
The Garand was all. So I assume you guys know that the Garand almost never actually went into service.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, the reason why is because the Garand has two very distinctive problems. And they're both around reloading. So with the Garand, you have and again, for all those who watch, I'm not a gun expert. I'm just a lover of history and the world wars, so I've read the accounts from memoirs. But I could be wrong. Feel free to kill me in the comments if you desire. But with the Garand, you had two major problems. One is that the latch, the bolt, was rather sensitive when you loaded cartridges in, and so you could basically thumb load an entire strip into the weapon, and if you weren't careful, you could actually get your thumb caught in the bolt as it locked back. And it actually had a condition for it on the front called Garand thumb, where people would go to the medics with their thumbnails like cracked open, bleeding, and like the tips of their thumbs all black and blue and bruised. And some commanders were worried that they wouldn't be able to handle that finicky reload under battlefield conditions. The other one was that when the Garand fires its last shot, there's that distinctive ping that everyone who's heard about the Garand knows. And some people were very worried at the time that ping would make it immediately inviolable as a battlefield weapon, because in their mind, the enemy would hear the ping, know that their enemy was reloading, and they would attack whilst they couldn't fire back. The second claim was immediately rebuffed by commanders who were like, okay, listen, yes, that is true, but you're going to be having like hundreds of these things being fired at once across like multiple different like fields. The chances of the enemy being able to pick out one particular ping amongst an entire firing line is very slim, given the fact that there's not only our gunfire going on, but the enemy's gunfire and artillery and all that stuff as well. So that point is invalid.
I would say the first point would be mute, simply because you can just train them better.
Also true. But yeah, for those two reasons, the Garand actually did face some not insignificant pushback.
I mean, it was a significant improvement over I believe it was the model. It was we had a Springfield before that, because before that, I guess we picked up another rifle. during World
The
War
1905.
One. But I don't know if you've ever seen it, but we used to have during the Spanish War, we had this rifle. It had a very unique design. The only reason I know so much about it is because of this unique loading feature. So they essentially had a box on the side, and you would just dump bullets into it and then put the box in it, and then it would self-load itself. It would when you pull back the bolt, it would load it like that.
Yeah.
But that's the rifle we had for the longest time. But we actually ironically enough, America decided to spend extra money on that because we just noticed that the Spanish rifles were more accurate, and we're like, okay, I guess we need to upgrade our rifles.
True. But as much as we lacked in rifles, at least we had the 1911.
Yes. If that, the N16 became with future variants became a standard rifle. That's pretty good. I still think for most of its variants are probably inferior to an AK, but
No, well. I was going to say, I don't know if you should be able to include the M16 as a good American gun, considering precisely what was happening to the first M16s.
I mean, the first one was not ideal, but that was probably more for what we ended up using it for than the design itself.
Ah, yes, an urban weapon used in jungle.
Yes.
Well, it's also due to the fact that there were also, the weapon was known to be finicky, and yet people were so convinced in its ability to, be rugged that they didn't send over. I never understood why people, when they hear the words, and I'm hoping to use this to change the topic, but I never understood why people hear the word low maintenance and they think no maintenance, or they hear the
doesn't. That's how you ended up having. I told Jester this when we were a while ago. We were talking about Vietnam, and you just have reports of because they figured it was low maintenance, no maintenance, so they didn't provide that many cleaning kits initially. As anyone that looked up this history would know, the initial M16s did not perform very well in Vietnam due to the conditions, and you really needed to make them work. You really need to have constant maintenance on them. So there would just be whole platoons where you have, in some accounts, like half of the platoon, they were killed. They were found dead by a rifle of theirs that they had taken apart trying to get it to work.
I mean, also, yeah. And also, you have some people who this shocked me to this day. I still don't understand it. Where there was one group who was like, "Herd doesn't need to be cleaned often," and they got from that self-cleaning.
I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, it's not, everyone. It's basically. I blame the AK-47 to be honest. Like that thing doesn't need anything. Like you can dump it in a thing of mud and it'll still fire perfectly fine after. You can treat that thing like absolute shit. It can be mostly rust. I would still put money that it'll fire more or less as fine as it did when it came out of the factory.
Drew, are you suggesting not performing proper maintenance upon the machine spirit?
No, I would never. I would never, Commissar. In fact, I have the rights tattooed onto my ass.
Okay, okay, everyone. If you don't eat your dinner, there's no dessert.
Oh my god.
Then all of a sudden, Commissar's like, dessert? Where? You dare dessert? Hello, Commissar. You dare dessert in the Imperial? Wait, what? No. Oh, I love that YouTube video.
Hold on. Let me read something to you guys because I found this amusing. This popped up into another server.
I like how we went from, oh yeah, we're a gaming group that likes to do 40K. It's like, so now let's talk about Vietnam.
Yeah.
We're also we're a gaming group that loves history.
We're a gaming group that makes it easier to run games. I mean, I get a lot of inspiration from some of my more memorable games from history.
Look, we have a wide variety of topics. We have a wide variety of interests.
And all of them don't matter at all in the real world.
Doesn't matter. We're the embodiment of that Cards Against Humanity card being very specialized in a very insignificant amount, in a very insignificant field.
Yes.
Listen. It has finally paid off. We are now bringing it to the conversation of people who will, without a doubt, rip us to shreds in the comment section.
I don't know why I'm being asked to go support a GoFundMe.
I mean, to be fair, like with the other video, I think at this point he's gotten I counted 18 views, and he's only gotten 2 likes, no comments. One of those likes was from me, so. But no, anyway, so let me read this because I found this funny. So.
Way to change the subject.
Yeah, way to change the subject. But no, someone posted this and it made me giggle. You wake in the night with your arm hanging over the side of your bed. It is still dark, and your bedroom is shrouded in deep shadow. Suddenly, something unseen seizes your hand. You grasp it tightly, knowing that first impressions are important and a firm, confident handshake will establish dominance.
Huh?
No? Oh.
What?
That's from Texas Speech Device. That was Dawn.
Probably. No.
You just talked about Dawn. Ha ha.
Talked about Dawn. You recently killed him. Murderer.
The trade.
Look, I may have killed Dawn. Look, that's not important, okay? Look.
He was a traitor anyway.
I hope this becomes infinitely successful and we bring in a new generation of people interested in 40k and they immediately clash with actual 40k slants and they're like, no, it wasn't the Horrors heresy, it was the Dornish heresy. Duh.
Yeah. Yeah, although to be fair, the way you word it, Dornish instead of Dornian, people are going to think, now people are going to mishear and say, oh my god, it's the Cornish heresy. I'm like, no. Do not bring in the game hens. But no, now I'm just imagining reading this entire, that second half in Dorn's voice. You grasp it tightly, knowing that first impressions are important, and a firm, confident handshake will surely establish dominance.
You can't.
How did that firm, grasping handshake work on you when we fought?
Firmly grasp it, brother.
We're going to hell, everyone. We intend to do podcasts down there too.
You're not doing it right, brother. You're supposed to firmly grasp. Watch. Proceeds to grab spear, stab self. There. That is how you do it. Now I expect at least 30% efficiency now. Stab. Much better, brother. I am dying.
Hey, Connor, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. Hi.
Drew, what is wrong with me starting a GoFundMe for a $1.8 million Tomahawk cruise missile?
Everything. Literally everything about that is wrong.
Literally everything about that.
And everyone would like to welcome Connor Sharkwolf, the criminal of the Warband.
And the guy who's going to get us on the terrorist watch list now.
It is a legally acquired item.
There is no way that is legally acquired.
To be fair, it is California.
Connor. No, Connor. Okay, we're not asking the right questions here, everybody. First,
who's selling it?
Yeah, that's the question I wanted to ask. Who is selling the 1.8 million Tomahawk cruise missile?
People of legitimate origin.
Who do you find?
Some dude with a jacket that just says USSR on the back.
Look. Legally, if I take the stock and shorten the barrel of a 50 caliber sniper rifle, it is classified as a pistol, meaning I can own it in California.
No. But no, I've
Wait, doesn't that go with the whole you can't customize barrels, otherwise that's illegal?
It
It's
depends.
not custom. It was ordered that way.
I'm like 100% for sure that I thought he was going to be like, who are you buying this from? Sketchy Irishman? It does not like matter that you said why can't we buy things from like the sketchy, like totally legitimate Irishman? No, look, I'll do with the ones who sell me shit and the ones who don't. We're going with the sketchy Irishman, and that's that.
Connor, if you could raise $1.8 billion and you did not build the Warband compound somewhere in the United States so we can have Jester come over and have some game nights, I would be if you start a GoFundMe for the Warband compound, I will happily put some money down.
I'd donate.
So you'll put money for the compound, but not for the cruise missile.
Listen.
Look. Hold on, Drew. Hold on, Jester. The missile can come later. The compound first, then it's defensive.
But if I get the cruise missile, I can get the compound for free because I don't have the missile.
No.
Listen. What we gotta do? I recommend the compound in Texas. It's county frozen over, so money should should be cheap.
But it's cold there.
Oh.
But it'll be cheap.
Wait. I volunteer my own corn state.
You know, better yet, let's chip in and buy a nuclear silo.
No.
Listen, Drew. Remember the last time there was a battle near Corn? Remember what happened there?
Yes, I shall be back.
And there's only 5 of us. There's only 4 of us. So I don't trust our numbers.
Connor, get out of here. You've derailed everything.
Good.
Which is good because that's the topic anyway. He's going to be back. But
He's going to come back. Because that conversation had to go somewhere.
what the fuck was I even saying before he showed up at the cruise? I didn't even see he posted that like in the general chat until you said.
Yeah, no, on my video, my viewers will be able to see me getting a notification saying he pinged me saying, "Oh yeah, would you be willing to fund my GoFundMe?" I was like, "What the?" And like on my phone, I started talking to him like, "What the fuck do you mean?" He's like, "It's a $1.8 million Tomahawk missile GoFundMe." I'm like, "What?" Like,
he can never be allowed to own that.
Unless I get to choose where it fires.
When are you going to choose where it fires?
No. Connor is an incredible. No, Connor should never have the power of an intercontinental ballistic weapon.
I mean, I'm thinking. Listen, there's some lakes around. There's some Great Lakes. I would like to make them slightly greater by having large explosions.
Because we all know where he's going to send it.
He'll send it to Australia, get it lost in Australia somehow, saying, me could end up with like, I found your cruise missile, what you do with it? He says, I tried to kill the spiders. Well, you missed.
No. He's going to send it, no. I was going to say he was going to send it to Florida, but no. He's going to send it to Australia, some castle where he's going to pee on it and be like, this is mine now, and make a nest out of it. And then the baby's going to peck at it wrong, and suddenly there's a new crater and many new wildfires in Australia.
I'm just imagining some cop in California being like, "Do you have a license for that?" Pointing at Connor with a fucking ballistic missile.
No, and he's like, "Yes, officer, I do. Look," and he's like, not even like rivet. He's like stapled a license plate onto the wings of it, so it's street legal.
You know what Connor will say? He won't say I don't have a license. He says, "Do you need a license for a cruise missile?" Forcing the cop to call up and say, "Hey, cruise missiles need licenses."
During which, in the meantime, he makes his getaway.
I imagine there would be a very fast congressional hearing in California to legalize the use of ballistic missiles.
See, that right there, that is a quote that we need a channel in this server for like Warband quotes. That's a good one.
I tried to make that, but he was against it.
I'd support it. That's a good one.
I'll say this. That'll be one of the only gun laws I support. Yes, I support the illegalization of civilians having tomahawk missiles.
But how are you meant to take down the government tyrannical Apache coming at you?
I support the government banning.
Use an RPG like proper insurgent.
And then Connor. Oh, I can't say that. This is live. Never mind.
Yes, you can say it. We were born in guns and tomahawk in Vietnam. How low can you go?
Connor, no, I can go pretty low because Connor would be that asshole. Be like, he'd go to the Supreme Court and be like, look, or he wouldn't go. He'd go to Congress and be like, look, you motherfuckers sold these missiles to Iraq, but I can't have one.
Oh.
And then knowing Connor, he'd probably look at the whitest senator in the room and be like, that's racist. You're racist.
Imagining what Connor would do with a fucking ballistic. The only thing I can think of is that he would go around to his family and just say, "Listen, I am the captain now because I have the missile," and then his mom is bitch slapping him and taking it.
He gives it to Goodwill.
What the fuck would Goodwill do with it?
The Goodwill would figure out they'd give it to the needy.
Goodwill.
Or in
I
this
mean, listen,
case,
Coca-Cola had one of the largest militaries in the world at one point in time.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
yeah, Coca-Cola had a huge. Wait, was it Pepsi?
It was Coca-Cola, I believe.
Coca-Cola.
They made it.
What do you mean they had them?
And the Soviet Union paid them in like military equipment.
Yeah, so like basically in return for like a Soviet exclusive, like they released one of their products exclusively in the Soviet Union, and in return they paid them in military surplus, some of which were actually like in the form of literal naval vessels, which gave Coca-Cola an armed navy.
What the hell? Imagine being the owner of a Coca-Cola, just like, wait, hang on, what?
If I remember right, let me actually look because it's been a while ago. But let me look. Coca-Cola Navy.
Yes, it was. So Coca-Cola managed to get onto the Soviet market in the late 1980s, but in 1989, PepsiCo and the Soviet government signed an incredible barter deal, swapping 17 decommissioned submarines and 3 warships.
And at that time, Pepsi, it wasn't Coca-Cola, it was Pepsi, had the 6th largest navy in the world.
Yep, and PepsiCo for this also was allowed to be the first foreign corporation to start advertising on Soviet TV.
Yep.
That included spots featuring Michael goddamn Jackson, apparently.
Hell yeah.
Don't you gotta love the ridiculousness of history?
Yeah. Like, history, like, that's why I love it. That's why I aspire to become a, because, like, some days, like, you can't make this shit up. Like, you can't tell stories this outlandish.
And
because
also,
people,
because that isn't funny enough, apparently the owner of PepsiCo at the time talked to the national security advisor of George W. Bush and said, "We're disarming the Soviet Union faster than you are."
Yeah.
Oh, that's a burn. The next drinking company.
Yeah.
You got burned by a fucking...
Here, have an ice cold Pepsi for that burn. But no.
And then the president says, "Well, if it was Coke, they would have did it better."
Bitch, we can nuke Coca-Cola from here. What do you mean?
The armed Pepsi delivery service.
Yeah, man.
That sounds like that's a cyberpunk group I want to meet.
Can you imagine it just like, yes, like Australia has ordered a Pepsi deal and just suddenly like 17 nuclear powered submarines pop up from the ocean, like, here's your Pepsi.
It's the great red, white, and blue fleet.
Yep.
Red, white, and blue.
that we get confused from the American fleet all the time.
Yeah. All of their submarines are painted like Pepsi cans.
Damn it.
They missed a trick there. Imagine actually having nuclear submarines in your service. Like, I'm sure America would have been happy to just have a private company owning nuclear submarines.
Oh my god! But no,
we were this close to Shadow World, Shadowrun.
Shadowrun, Cyberpunk kids. It's always been happening. Look it up.
Yeah.
But what else to talk? How long have we been going? I haven't been watching the clock.
Listen, we go until we drop dead.
No, but what's the runtime?
What's the clock at? I don't know. It doesn't come with a clock.
It doesn't tell you how long you've been recording for? That's whack.
No.
We've been going for an hour.
An hour already?
Well, 50 minutes.
Already? Fuck.
No, we're having fun.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you have great friends like this, or I guess assholes in our case.
Hi. I accept that as a compliment.
Time flies from the Warband. Time flies from the Warband. It doesn't like us.
Time flies in the purgatory that we call the Warband.
Oh god. Okay, so let's try to. I don't even know where to fucking go from here. We've gone from fucking Wrath and Glory to like role playing games to 40K to guns to Vietnam
to random black guy coming into a room and shouting, "Who wants to help me buy tomahawk missile?"
And then from there we started talking about Coca, and then we started talking about why Congress would be racist for it, and then we talked about Coca-Cola or Pepsi's Navy. I don't know where to go from here.
Listen, as we will always maintain, the Warband has no structure, and even trying to have structure is ridiculous. Keep in mind, when we first brought this up, one of our main, the whole point of it was supposed to be we were just going to talk about our RPG stories.
Yeah, we were just going to be a role-playing game podcast, but then this happened. And
we still are. We still are.
We haven't talked about a single RPG story.
No, we haven't. But before we get into that, I just want to say I did try to briefly get us on that track at the beginning, if you remember. And then I even thought at one point, I remember I told one of my friends about this, and I told him about what we were doing and how awful it went. And he was like, "Well, I mean, you write. Why don't you just write a script?" I'm like, "Dude, you don't understand these people. There is no script I could write that they would read, much less follow." Yes, I give this to them, and suddenly they're more illiterate than fucking a deep South Alabaman who's just kind of girlfriend ain't had periods since she got pregat.
So we've lost the Southern demographic real quickly.
It's okay. We have Chase. We'll bring him. He's from the South.
We never had one. Excuse you.
We never had a demographic.
What do you mean we're just talking about cruise missile bombing a government-controlled Apache that would have gotten them easily.
No, we lost any demographic the moment I brought up Iraq. What the fuck are you talking about?
Good point. We made fun of. Let's be honest. We brought up Vietnam. That's probably when we lost any chance to make money off of this.
Yeah. Which is why we are funded solely by donation. Support Drew Justice's book. We'll get the proceeds. We'll get the proceeds one way or another, even if we have to beat it out of Drew.
Please, for just $1 every time you view, in maybe 1 million views, we too can have our own military-industrial compound in the middle of the United States.
No. It's gonna be 1.8 million views.
We're not buying some luck.
Why not? Connor wants it.
If I swear to God, if we ever become millionaires and we have a compound and I'm just gonna wait, and one day we're just gonna be sitting around playing a game or doing a Comcast, we're gonna just start the podcast where we start having videos in the background, and we're just gonna see Connor start lugging something in. We're gonna be like, "What's that?" And he just opens up Tomahawk.
Tomahawk. No. It'll be like that. It'll be like that iCarly meme. We're just like, what's that? A smoothie. Like, just lugging the tomahawk under his other arm. It's a smooth. Or
Can you get us one?
Or what happens is we'll be talking, and like we'll be sitting at our grand table that all supervillains have, and Connor will lean forward because he'll get really offended, and he'll try to make a point, and suddenly like his elbow will brush a button, and off in the distance we just hear.
Okay, I'm back.
And we were like, Connor, yeah, what button was that? Don't look at
The
that.
smoothie machine button.
Off in the distance, all we hear is.
Some random
Are you
city in some random country just got blown off the map thanks to Connor accidentally pushing the tomahawk button.
So, and my words final laugh. Do you think my green card will be reapproved?
No. No.
Look. Okay, I've decided to
No.
not go for the Tomahawk cruise missile. Instead,
Good.
for slightly more, let's get a A10 Warthog.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
If we get the damaged one, it goes down to only 1.6 million.
Okay. There's a very important question with all this. How many of you can drive?
I can drive.
Okay,
Look.
so me and Drew can drive
We all can
I can
drive.
drive.
What the fuck?
Yes,
Look.
legally.
Look.
All can drive legally, except maybe Connor.
I can
Look.
drive.
Look. Let's agree to disagree. That the best use of our money.
Listen,
Is
no matter
not-
what, we need to buy the Warband compound.
It's just gonna be no. Here's the problem though. We're gonna buy if we bought a compound, it'd be like in the middle of like the Nevada desert somewhere near Vegas, and we'd be called one of those crazy ass cults. That just
Yeah, I'm
is in the
okay
middle
with
of
that. We'll play it up. We'll have
Okay.
fake bodies all over the place. Put some fake heads all pikes.
No. If we get the compound, let's do it near Vegas, out in the fucking desert, and let's spend a little extra to have a small town build right outside that we use for an airsoft competition.
No.
So people who
No.
drive by would just see heavily militarized fucker clearing through a town.
You know what that is, and we can charge people to play airsoft in the game.
It's only war in real life.
I hate you all, but I love you all.
It's not a bad idea. It's a way to make money. I approve.
It's not. But here's the problem though. I just imagine like if we're close to Vegas, like anyone who drives past, all they hear from inside is just like they see like people like us like dressed up in like robes and hoods going like chanting like in the like the holy
Just throw out the Aquila somewhere.
Throw out the Aquila.
Fucking camp.
Of course, when someone's starting to admire it, like some famous tourist just comes in and is like, yes, it's a very great place. I love all the aesthetics and stuff. Where did you get that incredibly detailed Tomahawk missile on top of the thing? Yeah.
That's part of the war games.
Yep, part of the war games. Yep. Just we never fire it unless for special occasions.
Look.
It's part of the war games. It is our contingency scenario.
If we form the Warband militia, then we can definitely legally own it.
No.
Yeah.
To be fair, it will be in the state where Vegas works, and everything is legal there.
Look, I'm perfectly capable of agreeing to the idea of if we can tell them, if our flag in Capture the Flag is ever threatened of being taken, we will threaten them with the ballistic missile. I will not, however, support the Warband militia. What I do want to say is if we do it near Vegas, what we have to do is we'll be walking past, giving each other the sign of the Aquila and the cog. But when everyone looks too close, oh shit, we got visitors, and we flip a switch and a neon sign over the door lights up and it just says, "Welcome to the Golden Nugget."
Why the Golden Nugget?
Because that's a casino and restaurant in Vegas and across the U.S.
So as you can tell, I'm
the Warband. If this ever kicks off, is going to get sued for copyright by about 15 different companies.
Especially when I said this entire thing was sponsored by Amazon. Again, buy Drew's book.
Yeah, buy my books. This is sponsored by me. It was made by me, and I just make things to sponsor myself.
Also, it was. I expect about 5% since this idea was mine.
Listen,
Yeah.
if I ever become rich and famous off my books, I will be a chief financer of the Warband compound, but it will also be in Indiana.
But I don't like Indiana. There's corn there.
And I don't like the desert.
Drew, Drew, I'm expecting a cool 15% off the top because my intro is copyrighted.
I immediately expect a nice 5% since you use my server.
That's extortion.
It is extortion.
Yes, extortion.
I just went 5. Quadro is going 15.
Yeah, it is extortion, but guess what? That's my price.
I'm being...
Guess what?
Viewers, help! I'm being extorted. Hey, make him stop.
No.
Look.
He has no power here.
Look, you being extorted is simply us saying, "Welcome to the Warband. We're assholes."
This is. Look, the fact that you didn't expect this of us really shows where your true loyalties lie in the Warband.
To yourself.
Hey. I give as much as I don't take away. If I was rich, I would happily fund the Warband compound. All I ask is that the main room is mine.
No, the main room is the games room.
No. Don't listen. We can have it so the bed is actually the table, and we just flip it.
Why would we want to go into your bedroom? We know what that's going to smell like.
Good point.
This is similar to why no one wants to be Connor's right hand, because we know what he does with his right hand.
Fair.
Eat chicken?
Yes.
Yes, Connor. Eat.
We know how you eat your finger-licking chicken.
Racist.
Stop it with your innuendos.
It's not racist!
Also, speaking about chicken, I have a legitimate question for Fixer, Drew, who is one of the most educated among us.
Excuse you.
You know science, correct?
Depends what
No, he does not.
And how does this come from chicken?
So,
Wait a minute.
physical energy, all forms of energy at some point turns into thermal energy, correct?
He wants to know how much slaps it takes to cook a chicken.
Yes. How much kinetic energy does that to be put behind a slap or other to cook a chicken?
Okay,
That's already.
question. So I can't. So man.
I am
in
not a
ancient
physicist.
days. So man in ancient times once started fire by rubbing stick together with other stick. With this mastery of the arcane arts, Connor, you should be able to draw forth the blasphemous arcane sorcery of lighting a fire with a chicken wing dripping in grease and a lighter.
But that takes time. I just want to slap a chicken and cook it in one go.
I think there's a YouTube video on that.
Look, there's nothing wrong with slapping a chicken if you want to cook it. Do you know how you do that?
What?
Okay, in the ancient time, man took stick and rubbed with other stick and made fire.
Good sad.
Quad, I don't want to hear about you rubbing your stick with other sticks. I just want to be able to take out a frozen chicken from my fridge, put it down, look at it, slap the fuck out that coffin and cook it.
Google this, it's immediately up there. How hard it's to slap a chicken to cook it. And there's a
YouTube video of it.
There's a physics paper about this.
My logic has spread.
I was just going to provide the more reasonable answer of, I mean, to be fair, if you took like a flint and steel and you struck sparks over the chicken, eventually, given enough time and probably enough flint rocks, You might actually be able to cook the chicken. Granted, it'd still probably kill you if you ate it, give you all kinds of salmonella, but you could probably do it.
Well, Fixer found the physics paper on cooking chicken. That's going to be a fun read.
Okay, so to cook the chicken in one slap, according to this physics major, you would have to slap it with a velocity of 1,665.65 ms or 3,725.95 miles per hour. So you would need to slap it about as hard as a fucking ballistic missile. That's why you want the goddamn tomahawk. You want to strap yourself to it and slap a chicken.
That's why I want the tomahawk. But no.
So he wants a missile just so he can properly eat quickly cooked chicken.
No, he wants a missile to see whether or not he can cook or cook. There's a difference. Also, Connor, don't remind me. You said you're going back to college, aren't you?
Yes.
So this right here, this conversation, this is your thesis for your master's. This is what you can write your dissertation on.
Yes.
I quit. I'm out. I'm going. I'm out. See you guys.
No, you get back here.
But you're inside. You're inside.
We're not insane. Well, never mind. We're all insane. We
are simply talking about the optimum way to cook chicken with kinetic force via intercontinental ballistic missile.
You're insane.
Somewhere within the blast radius, it will become perfectly cooked.
Yes, but it's now your job to figure out where. I pray for the chickens you will inevitably slaughter.
The fact that there's a whole subreddit dedicated to memes regarding this thing disturbs me and makes me agree with Chase that humanity should probably die.
And on that somber note, I think we've said enough for tonight.
You've destroyed what faith I have in humanity, Gunn.
I think we've said enough for tonight. Would you all agree?
All the world is burned, but before it burns, please buy my books.
Okay, so outro time. So, thank you all for tuning in tonight. As always, I have been Quad. This has been Jester, Drew, and our surprise guest, Connor.
I don't like your surprises.
He's Tomahawky surprise.
I don't like him either, but this has been the Warband. We thank you for your viewership and your patronage, and we hope to see you all again very soon. Until then, have a good night.
Good night.